Guys and girls, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome back to another Sunday night training, nice and easy, straight to the point. We're going to go over the kind of maybe a little bit of the results from the week. We've had an amazing month once again with inside the community, and the big thing with this, obviously you guys that are here that are brand new that are seeing this for the first time, I want you to understand that everything that you're in right now is a journey with it. If you're brand new and it's a little bit overwhelming. You may be seeing trades coming through that you don't know how to manage properly. Again, all of this comes with time. We record all of these onto my YouTube straight away. So you can go back and watch these over and over and over again. And you'll see week after week, week after week, week after week, week after week, we share the same kind of strategy, the same trading. And then on a Mindset Monday session, I'll cover the mindset and the psychology that some of you need to bring into that when you're doing this day in, day out. Because ultimately, in this, we can give you the winning formula, we can give you the winning trades. But if this is off, it's going to be a lot harder to start to profit in this because you'll get some good growth, you'll get some good wins. But then what will happen is the old version of you will kick in and you'll self-sabotage, you'll lose your money, and you'll go through that constant pattern, that constant cycle, where you're not feeling like you're getting any growth. So I've been doing this now since 2017, 2018, full time. By no way am I the best trader that I could be. I've gone back to doing some chart analysis this last couple of weeks because I want to start kind of sharpening my skills a little bit again. I've made some amazing money the last few years, and I'm going to go back to kind of leveling up again. So I'm going to be on the journey with you guys at the same time because new levels, new devils, there's different variations of me as we go. But as per usual, we're going to do this as we do every single Sunday. Myself and Matthew are going to dive into this. When I say myself and Matthew, I'm not going to do anything on the charts. I'm just going to mute myself. I'm going to turn myself off. I'm going to let Matthew dive in, mate. So you should be able to share screen. But again, guys, if you can, make sure you take
Send a
notes.
request.
Get rocking and rolling. I'm going to put this on host and co-host so that the chat doesn't get absolutely slammed. Obviously, last I was
Yeah,
away in LA on a disgusting time difference. Let me remove my spotlight. But yeah, brother,
good.
take it away and I'll
Thanks,
jump
guys.
in.
Thank you, Bradley. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all well. It's that time of the week again where we're going to go over the same thing we go over every week. And as I say, every single week, trading is mainly about discipline, especially for signal taking. It's all about discipline because you're not doing any of the technical analysis, or at least you shouldn't be. So with that said, that basically means doing a couple of things over and over and over and over again, exactly the same way as you did previous to that. So we have to follow something what's called trading discipline. And that's essentially following the same structured process for entering and managing trade, regardless of the market conditions, regardless of emotions, and regardless of previous outcome. There's four main things that I want you to remember, four things I want you to start as your trading Bible, if you like. And those four things are, they're not in any order, are respecting the technical validity of every single setup. And what this means is that a trade remains valid as long as the structure holds. And if a stop loss is triggered, it simply marks where that idea is no longer valid. It is not failure, it's information. What this means is if when you open up your phone and the price is not quite at the price that we said in the signal, because lo and behold, gold actually moves quite aggressively at times, that you can still enter the trade as long as TP2 or the stop loss has been hit. If it's hit TP1, don't get in a strop, don't message support saying, I've missed this trade. Instead of doing something that doesn't help you, be productive, be patient. You can sit and wait for a pullback. Okay, even if it's at TP1, you can wait for it to come back into our entry zone. And if it comes back in, you can enter the trade still. So trade is valid until TP2 or stop loss. We relinquish responsibility past TP1 because the trade has delivered value, but it doesn't mean that the setup is no longer valid because none of our trades are designed for TP1, although we do hit TP1s. We barely hit any this week, but there will be weeks where we hit more TP1s and twos and threes and so on. So again, if it's not at the price or it's hit TP1, don't be messaging support. Don't get in a strop and throw your phone down. Just sit, be patient, and wait for that re-entry. The second thing I want you to maintain is a consistent position sizing. I want you to avoid emotional or impulsive changes in your lot size. You stick to a fixed risk percentage per trade. This is to protect your capital and reinforce more disciplined habits. What this essentially means is, let's say, for example, we hit 10 trades back to back and we hit with TPs, which is not rare for us at all. And then you decide to get brave, you feel invincible, and you increase your lot size, maybe by 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever that might be. And we hit a stop loss or two, you're going to completely wipe out the equity that you've just gained. Conversely to that, if we hit a stop loss or two, which again does happen, maybe one or two, three in rarity back to back, which again is just information, and then you decrease your lot size, you are then being emotional about that decision, and it's going to take you a hell of a lot longer to build that equity back. So what we're trying to build here is a trading discipline and make your entries, your exits, and everything that you do mechanical. It's not based off what your head tells you, what your eyes may or may not be seeing. It's a fixed plan, a mechanical entry model that you use every time. The next thing that you need to be consistent with is your profit taking habits. So you need to use a defined take profit strategy, whether that's scaling out or aiming for fixed levels. Consistency again in this is going to allow you to accurately look at your performance review. It's going to help you improve. And again, it's going to build that discipline over the long term. It's not about one trade or 10 trades or 100 trades. It's about the next couple of years of your trading journey. Okay. So when I say I want you to define a profit taking habit, you should be deciding your exit before you enter a trade. Now, I know that may seem unrealistic to you if you're new and you're not going to get it straight away. It's impossible. But you need to be planning these exits before you even enter the trade. Doesn't matter how quickly they move, make sure you're sticking to the same plan every time. And what that means is if you take TP1, take TP1 all the time, or try that for a week or two. If you don't get on with that, take TP2. Then if you're a TP2 taker and you set stop loss to break even at TP2, and then you hold the rest to TP3, then do that every time. Whatever it is you choose to do, based off of your own risk management, make sure you do it consistently every single trade. The last thing I just want to highlight, and this is not about the discipline, is I'll go back there. So the last thing we need to look at is layering at uniform intervals. So when we're scaling into these trades, I want you to be placing entries at regular structured intervals. That's every 10 pips, every layer in the stack. And again, it's going to keep your risk profile controlled and your execution systematic. The last thing I just want to touch base on before I just show you two examples is that please remember that we provide updates and context around price movement and trade development in real time. So yes, when I say price has got to a certain level, you may not be there. You might be having a cup of tea, talking to one of your colleagues. You might be walking the dog. Doesn't mean it didn't go there. Everything that we put in the group is to support you and to give you information to make the most informed decision off of your own risk management and your tolerance. So we will never put anything there that is anything but to help you make decisions. So with that out of the way, I'm just going to show you two really quick examples. They're actually trades that we took last week. This is so there's a buy zone here. I'm not going to go into why it's a buy zone. That really isn't important at this stage, but we've got our buy signal. And as you can see, price has come into my buy zone. So I have instructed a buy at 4188. So as you can see, the price has come into our zone at 4188.36. Now, what I want you to do when you get the signal that comes in at 4188, I want you to open your MT4, MT5, whatever it is you trade on. And if it matches the first four digits, click the buy button. You can also enter if it was up to 10 pips away, but this is going to massively increase your risk and lower your risk to reward. So be advised that that does increase your risk if you do that. The best thing to do is to make sure the first four numbers match. Doesn't matter about the last two. If it says 4188, you can enter the market. If it's below 4188, you can also enter the market. But the important bit is the first four digits. If it's not at that, again, remember if it's at 4190, it's hit TP1, like in this example, the first time it nearly did, but it pulled back, and as you can see, it shot off. So again, you're going to open up your phone, MT4, MT5, and as you can see in this example, it matches 4188 at the open of our buy zone. And then what you're going to do is you're going to set up your buy limits at 4187. And then you're going to follow the stack all the way down, 4186. And so on and so on. I won't carry on with this one because we can see clearly that it didn't go all the way in. Now, you have two options once the price has come down and activated your layer. So we got in at market execution for 188. We've set up a buy limit at 4187 and 4186, and they've both been activated. The way the group is updated and the most risk-averse way to trade is as soon as these entries start coming into blue, into a small profit, you close them out and you leave your best entry only running, okay? Then you can hold your best entry to TP2, TP3, whatever it is that you choose to do, whatever your defined exit strategy is. The other option you have is you can hold the trades. It's a bit higher risk, but you will make a hell of a lot more profit this way. And you can then hold, maybe if you've got 3 layers in, for example, this would be TP1, this would be TP2, and your best entry would TP3. All entries, again, are only valid to TP2, so you cannot enter the market again. And I strongly advise everybody at TP2 to be going break even and deleting the buy limits. It's very important that we delete any buy limits that aren't activated at TP2. Just one more thing before I show you one more example is that in some cases, if you're finding you're running out of time, you're not able to get these entries, you can just enter manually by clicking the buy button when it comes to in and around that area. You're not going to be in at the perfect entry as everyone else, but if you're struggling with the time because you're new, you're finding it all a bit stressful, just wait, be patient, and hit the buy button manually when it comes into the 4187, 4186, and so on area. One other thing you can do to save time, and the way I trade, I do not say if it's moving very quickly and price is hovering around this area, I do not set my take profits. I only set the stop loss. I can then close my take profits manually as it comes to them. This is going to save me a lot of time. If the trade then hangs around, you can see that it's just moving up and down within the entry. You can go back and add it if you need to. But to save yourself the time, again, if you're new and you're stressing, just close out your TPs manually, but ensure you have your stop loss in there. That is imperative. Okay, stop loss is way more important than your take profit, believe it or not. Let's have a look at one more example. This is another beautiful example of our buy zones playing out perfectly. Again, as you can see, prices come into our area here at 4206, pretty much to the pip. Again, what we would be doing at this stage, we've seen the signal come in, 4206 matches perfectly, just click the buy button. Then before doing anything else, I want you to go in and set your buy limits up. So that would be 4205. A buy limit at 4204. Or 4203. And 4202 in this example will do. So all of our buy limits are now set. And as you can see, the price has come down and activated pretty much all of our layers. And then as soon as price is coming back through, again, if you want to be risk averse, you may struggle to make a lot of profit this way. You can just slowly close these positions out as they come into profit. The reason we don't wait for the full stack to be blue or in profit is, let's say, for example, we hit a stop loss when we've deleted this entry and this entry. We're now hitting a stop loss on 2 entries only, not the full 4. Again, it is the most risk-averse way, and that is the way the group is updated. But there are many of you in here that will hold these layers, TP1, TP2, or runners, and however you see fit. Okay, so remember to speed up time. If you're struggling with the speed that gold moves at the moment, you can set your stop losses only. You can also click the buy button at any of these given areas. I will only ever quote the full figure though. So if you are in at these areas and it doesn't match what I'm updating in the group, that is why. But again, it is a tool to help those beginners. Just one more thing though, before I hand back to Bradley, is I just want to point out that if you are new, you may be struggling, should I say rather, to make money. That is completely natural, completely normal. If tomorrow I wanted to go and learn to be play piano, it is not going to be free. There is going to be lessons that I need to learn. I'm going to pay for an instructor. In time, I would need to buy a piano and so on and so on. Any skill set that you learn costs you something, whether that's time or money. With trading, it's absolutely both. But the massive upside to that is that in time, with good discipline and this trade management, you can make a hell of a lot more than you put in. And that's it. Back to you, chap.
Magic. To be fair, we've not really had any much questions in the chat, which is nice. People are asking where it's going to
Good.
get uploaded to, which is going to be on obviously on YouTube as it is every week. Um, but yeah, like some people are asking about last week, guys. Last week was an anomaly. So, like, obviously, you've seen the market getting shut down for a few hours with Vantage. One thing I will say, which I really liked, was they extended the duration of what they shut the market for. For those of you who saw the 1 minute candle spiking and doing 3, 4, 500 pips is a madness. So on this, making sure that you're aware of that, you're reading the chat. And that's a big thing when it comes to this. And obviously, we had the Thanksgiving bank holiday in the US, which again either slows the markets or stops the market, which is fantastic. So you guys don't need to be in every trade all day, every day. You can have time off. Again, if we've made money by 9, 10, 11 a.m., you don't have
Yeah.
to you don't have to take every trade, you know. Um,
Yeah. If you haven't got 10 to 15 minutes when a trade comes in to manage that trade, don't be in it. Some will take 30 seconds, some will take 15, 20 minutes, some will take an hour. If you haven't got 15, 20 minutes to manage a trade properly, then do not take the trade. And then obviously, as Bradley's just mentioned, I've seen people saying, oh, I'm 15, 20% up by lunchtime, and then they're losing it by 6 o'clock. If you are anywhere near 3%, 2%, 5%, do not trade. Turn notifications off,
yeah,
go and enjoy your day.
yeah,
Right. The trades are there because I trade the way I trade. I will take pretty much every single opportunity that fits my criteria, but also because there's 4,000 people here, right? Not in the chat today, but overall in our groups, there is a lot of you and you're all trading at different times. So I have to provide signals all day long for those that you can only trade certain times.
yeah.
So yes, if you can do this full time, take every single trade. But if you can't, it's not realistic to expect yourself to. You're a few percent up, turn it off for the day.
Because I think a lot of people in this game they get caught up with like taking an L, and then they fear missing the next trade, or they fear the next trade might ping off and hit TP 75. But the beautiful thing with trading is if you're not in the trade, there's no risk. Yes, you might take a loss, which might affect your account, but there's going to be another 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100 trades over the coming weeks
Mm.
that you can take. So, like, a lot of you are rushing into doing the process and rushing to take the trade. And I think of this like driving a car. You don't get given a car to smash into a wall and wrap around a car and end yourself in hospital and then get given a driver's license to test. You have to do the testing first. And I think sometimes trading can be a little bit backwards where anyone can come in, anyone can run it up, anyone can come in and try doing it with money. So, like, if you treated this like going through a process, and if you're new to the game, start off with a relatively low lot size so you're not putting yourself at risk, you're not putting yourself over leveraged and too emotional too quickly, and come into this and just stagger yourself into the process. Like it's like doing skiing or snowboarding or whatever it is. You can't just go on the black, ones first. Like they're the hardest ones. You have to start off, scooting up the hill and falling off as you go through it. Like that is trading. And it might take you 6 months, it might take you 12 months, it might take you 5 fucking years, it might take you 10 years to get to a point where you're earning the desired type of money that you earn. But if you can remove that version of you at the beginning that is chasing money, that's chasing that fear of missing out, that's chasing the greed element of it, you will get them desired results a hell of a lot quicker. So some of you have started seeing them breakthroughs. You've started seeing, making money now because you're removing that element of you. But just make sure you check yourself when that account balance starts to get higher because the universe will be like, right, we're going to test them now. You'll get to 4, 5, 10 grand, whatever it is. And the universe will go, Well done. Here's a test. Is he going to stick to his risk management? Is he going to keep his stop losses in place? Or is he going to become a gambler? Or is she going to become a gambler again and ruin it all? So again, lay yourself in, take the
Mm.
process nice and simple. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I lost £250,000 before I was profitable. And the other thing to note, right, everyone, is trading isn't about mastering the charts, it's about mastering yourself. I fortunately was very honest and realistic with myself. I didn't blame anyone else.
Yeah.
I was just learning and I had no risk management. I actually wrote down what I did wrong. So I know there's people in here that will lose money and they'll blame the signals, blame the timing, price was here, price was there, be in support. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
What's realistic is you lost money potentially because of something you did, and that's okay. We're
Yeah.
not expecting you to get it right straight away. You just mentioned an analogy about a car, Bradley. It's perfect. I didn't know where the throttle was when I started to drive. I
Right.
didn't know where the indicator was, but now the same way I don't think about when I change gear on my car, I don't think about when I trade. It's automatic, it's systematic, it's an extension of my arm.
This is exactly what we
Right?
spoke about today. I had a meeting today with a few people, and we were talking about how you could drive a 3 or 4 hour journey. Now you know what you're doing. You could do a 3 or 4 hour journey talking to your friend, changing the radio, texting while you're driving if you do that. Like we can own up to it. But you do a 3 or 4 hour drive and you couldn't tell anyone what the scenery was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so automatic for you to do it and changing gear while you're doing it and this, that, and the other. You're doing all of that. But that's how trading needs to eventually get. And a lot of you in here, and this is outside of trading, will be putting external influences as to why you're not where you are, why you not got the results. It's trading, or it was traffic, or someone spoke to me like this, or someone did this to me, or it was this person 10 years ago that did this, this, and this. There's always an external feeling that pushes you away from what it is that's actually the core of it, which is you. And the quicker you can realize that you're the reason why you're not getting the results that you want in any area of your life, that is when the kind of key starts to unlock the cog a little bit because you're like, wait a minute, if I take ownership, I'm the one pressing buy and sell. So you know that if you've had a Barney with your partner, you know that the kids have pissed you off, the dogs have shit inside when they shouldn't have done, right? Or something's happened that triggers you, that is the person that then you need to become to start to understand that next level. So again, we do so much of that inside of here that I'm still working on most of this. I'll be honest with you. I'm still learning certain parts about me, because obviously with new levels of money, becomes more problems, if you will, at the same time sometimes. So again, it's all a journey together. But other than that, mate, I think I'm done. I'm waffled out.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. Unless there's any questions, but that's good that there isn't. That's probably the first week it hasn't been hammered, right?
Yeah, yeah. Most people just ask about stop loss going to break even and this, that, and the other. But again, we cover that on the trading. So
Mhm.
I do feel like some people in here, like if they paid attention to what was actually coming out your mouth, the questions would be a lot less limited, uh,
Yeah.
rather than try to tap out what they're trying to think. Um,
Mm.
So yeah, but guys and girls, don't forget we've got mindset call tomorrow evening. I'll post that in the group, open to every single person again. But yeah, we'll see you all next week on this exact call. The recording of this will go on my YouTube. If you haven't already done so, make sure you go like, make sure you go subscribe, make sure you go comment, put some boost into my fucking YouTube, will you? Right? Turn up here every week, right? All I expect is a little subscription, a little like. And if you love me, you can donate £1.99 so I can get some double cheeseburgers tomorrow. All right. Cheers. I'm joking.
See you later, mate.
See you soon, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.